Join with me today is Dacier. Did I say your name wrong? I think I said your name wrong. I always say everything wrong.
It's close enough. Destroyer of words.
Yeah, I know.
I am Dacier.
Dacier. Okay, so you and I are in the same arena shard, and you're in the Envoy, and then you recently played in the tournament, and you did very well. So welcome, right? And you and I were on the same conference call, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. But mostly, I just want to say it's awesome that you're here. And we've been playing on the same arena shard for 6 years, along with Valley Flying, and back in the day, even Casino was on this shard. So you've been playing the game since it's the second oldest shard, right? I mean, this was soft launch, right?
Exactly was.
Yeah. So you are OG. All right. So we are on the same call, and I feel like there's been a lot of discussion on this, and there's a couple questions I think that you brought up in your video that I wanted to echo in this video is, what's the general take on this? Has anything changed since you first saw this and we first got off the call? And then lastly, what kind of compromises or solutions to this should we do? And I had a very different take than you on that. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I had a very different take, right? After I told you my take is like, holy moly, that's hardcore. Yeah. So what's your take on this as far as what they're trying to do and what is going to be the net result, specifically when it comes to battle pass spenders and or free-to-play spenders? Because I feel like this is going to impact them the most negatively.
Yeah. So on the call, it almost felt like a rude awakening. Like, are they really doing this? So I had a lot of questions I was asking for on the call. What's going to be happening with the release cadence? Are they still going to become farmable? Is there going to be a roadmap? Is there going to be any information to really help these players? Because the spenders, the majority of them, if they spend, are buying the battle passes. Mm-hmm. So they're definitely trying to push those people to the next level. So it's when is enough is kind of the big thing I was trying to push as far as information on them. And they kind of gave a number, they kind of didn't. They definitely have a goal in mind. And I know that you, Darky, like you guys were like, shut out. You're like, I'm done.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And so, I mean, I just want to call it for what it is. They want to incentivize players to feel good about spending by providing them some level of exclusivity. And there are different kinds of spenders, and they are looking to increase the total cost of the game. And they gave us numbers, which we were told not to share, but the idea is that Battle Pass spenders, which a lot of people I know are Battle Pass spenders, like a lot. I mean, if this is a hobby and you love Marvel Strike Force, I think a lot of us have agreed that, well, not all of us, but, a lot of people are free to play, but some of us are, if you're going to spend $80 on Marvel Strike Force, the first place to do it is, which is outrageous if you think about it, because it's $1,000 a year, it's a lot of money, right? Well, that's not good enough anymore. They want people that buy characters. And so you and I are in this strange category where even what we're spending is probably not enough, which we experienced with Captain Britain and now with some of the events surrounding the Annihilators, where getting a character unlocked and spending, let's say, like 50 times 3, 150 plus the 80 is $230. Well, they're looking for more than that at the expense of the Battle Pass spenders, at the expense of free-to-play spenders, because I feel like it's this bandwidth that they're trying to move up. And I don't know about you, but during COVID, I was actually spending quite a bit more on the game. Before the battle passes really ramped up, I think I was spending between $400 and $500. Battle passes came into play. I scaled back to the $80. Plus, some of the character offers were only $25 and some of them were $50. Like, there was months or 6-month periods where I probably did $200 a month, right? And then it's like, and there's somebody over there going like, hey, Mr. Boomer, where was your $400 you used to spend on this game on the regular? So, what do you think about all that?
Yeah, I was kind of in the same boat when they had a lot of microtransactions. It's like, oh, that's only like $5. Yeah, I'll throw $5 at that. That's a great offer. And then they started pushing the offers to be a lot more macro. So I think at the height of it, I was around 350, 400 that I was spending a month, and then it really tapered off. It kind of hit me how much I was spending. Then the battle passes came out. The first one's like, okay, $20, that's a great value, I'll get that. Then there was 2 battle passes. It's like, why am I spending $20 a week to play this game? I still do it because the value is so good and I like playing competitively. Now I'm at about the 230 range, so they're trying to get more out of me, and I don't know how they plan to do that. Maybe there's gonna be another battle pass when Battle World comes out. I don't know,
but they're trying. I feel like there's 2 ways that they're pushing spenders like us. One was Captain Britain, who's important, right? Captain Britain's important, and that felt dirty. And the other way that they're doing it is Old Man Logan, and the locking into the scourges felt dirty. And now it's with this weird orb, delayed release cadence, the pushing back of the bumps, and I've got my Illuminati up and running for the next legendary, but then I'm looking at the Annihilators and like, where am I going to get these Thanos shards? Well, I guess I just got to get lucky on a 1 in 250 drop or something. I opened 23 or 26 of those Thanos orbs on stream 2 days ago, and I got 2 Thanos shards out of, what is this plan?
Yeah.
It's not a good.
Those orbs are terrible. The gore orbs were by far the best orb. If they can combine something with like the gore orb to where you had a higher chance of getting like, say, 1 shard of gore, and then Gladiator, you can get 2 shards of him, like they kind of do a trickle down effect, that would be pretty cool. But the Thanos orb, it's like a 17% chance, I think, to get Thanos. It's terrible.
It's horrible, and there's so many Silver Surfer shards, which is fine for new players trying to catch up. But for us, that we've had that character maxed out for years. Anyways, so you asked 2 interesting questions, and I think I want to save for what changed from our initial, call. What do you think the compromise is? And you talk about what's going on in your alliance and what you told me earlier about people not spending, the battle pass players not wanting to spend, and so on and so on. And what do you think the compromise is? And then you heard mine. Don't copy mine. I told you what mine was. Anyways, what's your compromise with the situation?
All right, so the first thing I think they need to do is increase the amount of power cores that we can get daily. Throw an extra maybe 50 in the arena shard, because they already did the restructure on that. Add another 50 on top of it. It's not going to kill them. Maybe when Battle World comes out, add some power cores in the Battle World. They already have a bunch in the milestones, so if you can get to about 400 or 500, if you're stockpiled per day without being like top 10 in arena like we usually are, I think that can go a long way for these players. In the Path 2 blogs, they need to start putting in there, say Sentinel is going to be the event character. That means that people know to spend power cores on Nimrod, on Omega Sentinel. Basically give a roadmap of what we can expect for these releases. That way people can plan accordingly if they want to actually core for that team or maybe skip for that team. I'm just trying to be more reasonable to where they might hear us, because if we keep shouting, hey, take it back to where it was, I don't know if they're going to do that, because we know they're not going to take back. It's how far can we push them back, though, is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like the only good news is that there's a lot more power cores now in arena, so that should give people better access to characters when it comes to coring. They've introduced randomness and risk. The risk with the Orcus team is that you don't get the 5-man in a timely manner because it's randomized, and then maybe you have a bad experience in raids or not. And maybe you're okay with that, maybe you're not. And I think people are going to have to choose on what characters they core and what types of teams they're interested in. And I feel like the traditional team to skip would be Alliance War teams, but I also suspect that people will skip them unless they're tied to spotlight raves, like what they did with Alpha Flight. The Lion Sport team before that was out of time, and boy, you did not want to miss Black Knight. So like they did things to make things less likely that people would want to skip them. So you talked about your compromise. I got to tell you, I'm kind of taking a different approach to this. And I kind of told you what I thought. I think that the community needs to be vocal about Old Man Logan, Captain Britain, the Illuminati, and then also the Annihilators release, because it's not favorable to the player friendly. And we wanted to revert to back to the way it was. There was goodwill created by Marvel Strike Force that started about a year ago, and a lot of that is being unwound, and I think that is not good. I really don't like this at all. The game is in this very positive trajectory. I can only speak to my numbers on Twitch and YouTube, and I went and did some analysis, and they are up. It's up like 22%. So the game is not dying. It's not disappearing. It is doing better. It's nowhere near COVID numbers. I mean, I'm nowhere near COVID numbers, but it was worse, this time a year ago. And they're unwinding that. And I'm not okay with that. And I think it's unacceptable. And I feel like, I've seen some posts on Reddit. Archangel made a post on Reddit, trying to minimize the situation, and kind of similar to you, where, this is where we were, and this is where they want to go. And, there's this happy medium. No, let's go back to where we were. Let's go back even more for that. This is not okay. It's not okay. And so I kind of am like categorically opposed to this, going soft on them, and just because I think they're the type of company that, unless it looks bad on Reddit for them, unless it looks bad for them on all forms of social media, they're going to push the envelope as far as they can. I just really feel that's how their organization works. And so I'm not okay with this moderate approach to going towards them. And I don't know exactly what that looks like. I'm going to continue making videos and about the situation, and that's going to be my path. I know I'm not going to tell people to go to the store, but you know what? If you're in the store and you want to update your rating to whatever you think it is, if you think this is a 5-star game, then put 5 stars. If you think this is a 1-star game, then put 1 star. But I know that if Apple finds out that there's like a targeted downvoting, they just delete them. And I think it needs to be the truth. Whatever you feel about the game needs to be on those ratings, not what I tell you or somebody else tells you. Put what you actually feel. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm always in the mindset of make your voice heard. So however you feel about the game, definitely voice it. You have to be civil about it, be respectful. Don't just say, oh, this is trash, I hate this company. They're not going to listen to that. So that's why I'm trying to take the approach of let's make a compromise. You guys want this, our demands are this. So let's try to meet somewhere to where both parties can actually be happy about it. You asked me how I feel a few days later after the call. So during the call, like I said, it was kind of a rude awakening, if you will. It's like, okay, so they're definitely going this way. So how can we still make this player friendly? So after a few days, it kind of hit me. Well, I used to play a lot of different mobile games like Rage of Bahamut, DC Legends, Raid Shadow Legends. Those games don't really have a lot of farmability in them, and they're very expensive. So I do feel that they're trying to move more into that direction.
And more random gacha based too, right? They're more randomized. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and the fact that we have a character release cadence to where they can become farmable at 4 months and get them at 7 stars at 7.
Right.
I think they kind of realize that they're too friendly. So that's why they're going this way. But I think they went too far to where it's too much gotcha in it. So I don't like the randomness of the orbs.
Yeah, and I'm gonna talk a little bit of shit right here. And there's a comment and a thought process that I've never heard from before in the last 10 years that I've been covering mobile gamers, that this is all the spenders' fault, and if you didn't spend, this wouldn't happen, and so on and so on. I'm telling you, this is fueled by other games.
Yeah.
Scopely developers are getting data on their other games, and they're more expensive, and they're getting more money. They're sharing information with other developers in similar spaces, and they see that they're getting more money. And so if you want to be pissed at the Krakens in other games, because that's where this is coming from. Somebody at Scopely is looking at the success of the other games, and they have a lot of very successful games at Scopely. Monopoly Go, Star Trek Fleet Command, WWE Chief Champions, and from those games, I talked to players, and they're telling me that the games are a lot more expensive on a monthly basis, the total amount of the battle passes. And that's where this push is coming from. It's coming from other games, and they think they can get away with it in this game. I don't know if there's a way of unwinding this or seeing them not to do it. This may be inevitable because this is just the nature of mobile games, and they know what they can get from other players, and so they're trying to head that direction. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. I mean, you played Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. There's that video of you doing the unlock for, what was it, Revan?
Yeah.
And that was such a feel bad moment just watching you like get destroyed on that. And I don't want this game to go that direction. That's why I'm trying to say, let's stop at this point here. This is like the bare minimum that we should do.
And everybody has different pressure points on what they want, and each player has a different objective. And for me, I think this random thing is what's the most upsetting to me. I just don't want this to be completely randomized, and getting a new character is random on those drops. And I think that's the biggest issue I have with it. Some of it I can understand to a certain degree, like the cost and things like that. I take issue with the randomization with the super low drop rates and giving out a bunch of orbs, and half of your alliance got lucky and half of them didn't, and half the free-to-play players got the character and half of them didn't. I don't like that setup at all. I think that's terrible. And so that's my main point. Everybody else has got a different point. I'm a spender, and some of these changes benefit me in some way. They've added value. You know what I mean? So which is not good at the expense of free-to-play. And I feel like what they're doing with the delaying of the release and then making it more randomized is where I object, and I'm not thrilled. Anyways.
Yeah, and there's also the alliance members where they don't want to feel that pressure that they have to give to their alliance mates. So people are stopped spending, like the battle pass spenders. Like, well, $80 isn't enough for you, then I'm not going to buy the battle pass. I'm not going to add these characters for 1 to 2 months anyways. So what's the value in it? So it's definitely backfiring as far as that aspect goes. I had somebody tell me that they used to spend like $1,000 a month, and they're done spending because they want to stay in their alliance, and they don't want the pressure of those alliance mates. They chose their friends and family type of thing as opposed to the game. And I think that speaks volumes.
Yep. And so I just want to say I encourage the community to band together in meaningful ways without pointing the fingers at each other or different types of spenders. I don't think that's productive. At the end of the day, this is Scopely's decision. And my suggestion for everybody out there is to think about what's best for you and do that. But telling other people what to do is generally a bad idea. I don't like being told what to do, and I bet the people out there don't like being told what to do either. And so my suggestion is to not do that and just think about what you want to do for yourself and do that.
Yeah, my final
that's general life advice. Boomer's thoughts here, right? General life advice. I don't even fucking know.
My biggest takeaway is the best currency that you have for yourself is time. So you can always get your money back, you can always make more money, but time you can't get back. So make sure that you're doing the most value with your time, because Scopely can't take that. So kind of spend that wisely.
Yep. All right, head over to your channel to see the other take that we had on this, and anything you want to say before we go?
Nah, just keep on gaming, guys.
All right, bye for now.
Bye.